Welcome to Accessibility Considerations and Benefits. In this video, you explore accessibility techniques, accessibility testing, and some of the legal policies based on disability rights. Web accessibility can also benefit those without disabilities, such as users with low literacy, users not fluent in the language, users with connection issues or old technology, new internet users, infrequent web users, and older or senior users. People with low literacy and those not fluent in the language can benefit by using a screen reader to read for them. People who understand the spoken language but do not read can listen to a website. People with low bandwidth connections and older technology users can benefit from the following: descriptive alt text, text descriptions of images, and separated style sheets. Using separated style sheets to separate content from HTML can decrease file size and download requirements, increasing download speed for users with poor connections in developing countries or in rural areas. New and infrequent web users benefit by having a clear and consistent design, navigation, and links. In the previous section, we discussed accessibility for those with disabilities. Now we will focus on senior users as an example. According to the AARP, the use of technology in senior age groups significantly increased since 2020. Senior users expect the same experience as general users from a website. They would like a thoroughly reliable and accessible website that improves their digital life, safety, and quality of life as much as possible. The web design should offer clear guidelines to improve usability. Web design that is easier for older adults to use is like designing for people with disabilities. The following are some age-related impairments. The first is declining vision, which includes reduced contrast sensitivity, color perception, and near focus, making it difficult to read web pages. Physical issues include reduced dexterity as a result of muscular dystrophy, Parkinson's, cerebral palsy, and strokes that can impair the ability to use fine motor controls and make using a mouse and clicking small targets difficult. Auditory difficulties can consist of difficulty hearing higher-pitched sounds and separating sounds, which makes it difficult to hear audio, especially when there is background music. And lastly, reduced cognitive ability can include reduced short-term memory, difficulty concentrating, and being easily distracted, making it difficult to follow navigation and complete online tasks. Here are some senior accessibility tips. Increase the font size for those with declining vision. Break down information by using headings and subheadings to make it easy to find the desired content. If your site includes instructions with more than one step, create a numbered list for those steps. Avoid jargon and technological terms that might confuse older users who are not as proficient or experienced with technologies. Use single clicks to help users with less dexterous hands navigate your site. Ensure your link text clearly describes where it takes end users. Avoid generalities such as "click here," because they're more complex for screen readers. Use high contrast color combinations to increase readability for users with low vision. Provide a read aloud function to help readers who have declining vision or difficulty focusing. Provide subtitled content to allow users who are hard of hearing to follow along without issues. Limit the amount of scrolling. Large amounts of scrolling can be particularly frustrating to seniors, especially those with physical difficulties. Ensure your content contains clear error messages that describe what needs to be changed from the user's entry, rather than simply stating that an error or an invalid entry has been made. Keyboard navigation is an excellent solution to help seniors with arthritis get around your site without using a mouse. Many seniors write down personal instructions on how to use a website. Any changes made to those websites may then confuse future visits. Because of the growing body of laws and public policies requiring the accessible design of products and websites, web designers need to be able to recognize the barriers that restrict access and how to comply with these laws and policies. Section 508 states that U.S. federal websites must be accessible for people with disabilities. Section 508 refers to a section of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and are standards, technical requirements, and criteria used to measure this law's conformance. The following is a list of required 508 accessibility features. Alternative text with appropriate details about the images and other non-text elements. Title attributes are used to identify the select menu. The title attribute can be spoken by screen readers or displayed as a tooltip for people using screen magnifiers. Labeling controls are structural markups to indicate headings and lists to aid page comprehension. Labeling controls include text fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, and drop-down menus. Data cells and data tables must have headers. If JavaScript and style sheets are unavailable, alternative content must be provided where necessary to ensure a usable experience. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, is a U.S. civil rights law passed in 1990 that protects people from discrimination based on disability. 508 compliance provides accessibility for digitally published material within government agencies and entities. The ADA is divided into 5 titles, but we will focus on Title II and Title III. Title II requires state and local governments to provide equal access to their programs, services, or activities. Title III prohibits discrimination in public places based on disability, including places such as restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, museums, and hospitals. This can include digital products. There are some myths about ADA legal literature. 1 is accessible websites require the cost-prohibitive use of streaming audio and high bandwidth. 2, accessible websites require 2 versions of the same website, 1 text and 1 graphical. 3, an accessible website is only required if an entity receives federal funding. Finally, web developers and designers cannot be held liable if their clients tell them to ignore accessible web design. Now that you are informed about the legal policy and how accessibility benefits others besides users with disabilities, it is time to test our website with tools and quality assurance processes. There are many web accessibility testing tools. Monitor the website and test periodically to help identify any usability issues to help further improve accessibility. Here are some web accessibility tools. The Accessible Name and Description Inspector, ANDI, was created by the Social Security Administration. It is a free open-source bookmarklet, meaning the tool does not require installation as a plugin and can be added to multiple browsers as a bookmark. Follow the link to install ANDI. Color Contrast Analyzer, or CCA, is another free open-source tool that displays the contrast ratio for 2 selected colors. CCA inspects color contrast when ANDI cannot programmatically identify contrast. Follow the links provided. Wave is a free web accessibility evaluation tool. It can identify and assist a testing evaluator with identifying and revealing accessibility errors and potential accessibility issues and features. Dibo Mapper is a paid subscription that tests the accessibility of an entire website and tests for local and international guidelines. SortSite is a web crawler that scans full websites for quality issues, including accessibility, browser compatibility, broken links, legal compliance, search optimization, usability, and web standards compliance. This is also a paid subscription. You may download this presentation to find additional resources as you plan your next class. If you download this presentation in a format other than slides, please be sure to check its accessibility. Thank you for taking the time to find out more about accessibility in web design. Think about how you might help your own students design better web products.